is just go through the tools that I'm using to change my derby cover on the Sportster Iron. Admittedly, I am very new to this, but I've been doing a lot of research, and so I'm just building up my toolbox to make sure that in future, when I do future mods, then I can do it myself. So what I've got in front of me today is a selection of things. The first thing that you need is the torque wrench. So I bought this, and I got this from Screwfix, and this little baby here cost me £26, which is an absolute bargain. So that's really essential for understanding what pressure you're applying to the bolt, so you make sure that you don't over tighten it and potentially snap it, and at the same time you don't under tighten it, and therefore when you're riding over a long distance you find out the foot peg's going to fall off, or something else very important which could ruin your day. The next thing that I bought as well, just in regards to taking the bolts off, is this. So I've got the T50. So the T50 is used for the foot peg, so that's quite a large tool in itself. It's really important. And then the other one then is for the actual derby bolts itself, is the T27. I bought all these from Halfords, very straightforward. So for these two in total, that came to £9.99. So we're up to around £37 at the moment. The next thing I bought is really essential, is the Loctite. It's the blue variant, which means it's semi-permanent. So again, anything that goes potentially wrong, you can undo it. It's not going to be stuck in there. So all in all, those are the tools that I am going to use today. And the last but not least is the actual derby cover itself. So I've gone for, and again, I'm always looking for a bargain. So I've gone for the Roland Sands derby cover. Very nice, relatively plain, but again it's got a nice gloss finish for me, which will suit my Sportster Iron. This retail, I believe, is £130, so it's a lot of money for what it is, if you're very honest. I picked this up on Facebook through the Facebook group page that I'm on, which is Sportster Sickness UK, and I got this for £40, so an absolute gem. So without further ado, guys, what I'm going to do now is get cracking with fitting this derby cover. Okay guys, so I've got my bike just on a slight stand, so it's probably raised up by about an inch, and basically for me this just gives me more manoeuvrability to get in to the parts and get them out successfully, really. So what I'm going to do now is manoeuvre you guys in, get you right into the foot peg part so you can see exactly what I'm doing first. So the idea is to take the foot peg off first, which is this part here, and this then will expose the bolt for me, which is here, and that's actually being covered by the foot peg, so I couldn't get that off successfully and put this derby cover on without potentially scratching something. So what we'll do is get onto it right away. So guys, because I'm actually undoing the bolt, I'm not going to actually use the torque wrench at this point, purely because I don't need to measure the pressure. So I'm just going to use this Allen key, and again it's a T50. You can buy from Halfords or any other local dealers. And I'm just going to start undoing this bolt right away. So, as you can see guys, I have now exposed the foot peg, which means now I can get at the derby cover, which is great. Okay guys, as we've got the case exposed now and the foot peg has been moved away, what we're going to do is take off each bolt. But how we're going to do this, which is quite important, is by doing each bolt opposite to each other. So the idea is I'm going to start at 12 o'clock and then undo this bolt and then move to 6 o'clock and get those two bolts out, and then I'm going to do 2 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock, and then 4 o'clock, and then 8 o'clock. So that's the idea of taking those bolts out. I am going to take, and the key thing is just to take your time with this. Admittedly, as I've said, this is the first time I've done it, so I'm in no rush at all, so I shouldn't make any mistakes. So without further ado, here I go. So I'm going to apply, put it in, sorry, not apply, and just nice and gently, like so. And then once I feel I've undone the bolt enough, I will then move to another bolt. Okay guys, so now the bolts are pretty much untightened. I'm now going to manually take out the bolts without using the torque wrench, like so. And I'm also going to be careful to store the bolts. I've just got a bag down below me, so I'm going to use that just to keep the bolts there. Brilliant, so I've taken off all the bolts now. So what I can now do is take that casing away. So I'll do it just nice and gently, because I'll perhaps want to use this stock case, Derby case, in the future. So it will be a little stiff, which I can tell at the moment. So it's just going to need a little bit of work just to get it out. So there it is. So I've totally exposed the Derby cover. So as I've now got the Derby cover off, what I'm just doing is, and again I'm just using my eyes, there's nothing technical really about this, but I just want to make sure that there are no cracks or the band is defected in any way, which it isn't. Admittedly I did have some lubricant leaking slightly over, but to be fair, I think that is basically because my bike is not upright enough, so it's at a slight angle at this moment, although I've raised it by an inch. But apart from that, I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. So guys, just from a sneaky look, I've just applied the new Derby cover on, just to give me a little sort of idea of what it's going to look like, and it does look pretty sick, to be fair. So now I'm going to move on to one of the final parts, which is about the bolts. So we'll get cracking with that. So guys, I've got my Loctite here. So what I'm going to do is use the Roland Sands bolt now and just generously apply some Loctite on it, like so, just making sure that I've got the whole bolt. And then I'm going to put my Derby cover on and make sure this groove is basically on the clutch line. So like nice and slowly. Like so. Great. So what I'm going to do now is just put the bolt in. And again I'm going to use my T27. Screw it in. Not too tight. I just want to make sure that the Derby cover is secure enough so I can basically let go. And I just want to make sure that everything is lined up nice and neatly, so I don't want to be repeating myself on this. Okay, put that in, make sure it's all lined up. Great. T27. Okay guys, so I'm literally just looking at my Harley manual now, and I'm just checking from a wrench torque point of view the amount of pressure I can apply. So for the clutch inspection cover screws, which I've just put in but on a loose scale, that is 90 to 120 pounds. So I'm going to put that in on my torque wrench. What I'm going to do is aim for 100. So I'm going to aim for 100 pounds, so somewhere in the middle, and then once I go out for a ride, I'll come back and test it and see if it's being made looser or if it's the same. If it's the same, I'll keep it as it is. If it slightly gets looser, I'll torque it up to 120 then. So let's get it done. Okay guys, we're now just putting the foot peg on. So just making sure that everything is lined up as it should be. That's great. Okay, it's giving it a little bit of tightness, and then we can use the torque wrench then to do the rest. So guys, that is it. That is the derby cover all done. So pretty happy with that. It looks pretty good. And as I said, what I'll do, test this out tomorrow. Just make sure that after my ride down to Rye, that the bolts haven't shaken themselves out or I've gone loose. So yeah, apart from that, happy days. Hey, hey.